Thank you very much joining in our program. Srimad Bhagavatam continuing from yesterday to 4:26:23. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supremest human being, and unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance on the classes on Bhagavatam and rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome with the heart is almost completely destroyed. Loving transcendental service unto the glorious Lord, who is praised by transcendental loving songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So, reading Srimad Bhagavatam 4:26-23. Quite a long verse. Satvam mukam sudatti subru anuraga bhara vridha vilamba vilasat dasitavalokam nilala kalibir upaskritam unnasam naha swanam pradarshaya manasvini valguvakyam. My dear wife, your teeth are very beautifully set. And your attractive features make you appear very thoughtful. Kindly give up your anger, be merciful upon me, and please smile upon me with loving attachment. When I see a smile in your beautiful face, and I will see your hair, which is beautiful as the color of blue, and see your raised nose and hear your sweet talk, you will become more beautiful to me, and thus attract me and oblige me. You are my most respected mistress. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. An affectionate husband, simply been attracted by the external beauty of his wife, tries to become a most obedient servant. Sripad Shankaracharya is therefore advised that we not become attracted by a lump of flesh and blood. The story is told at one time a man very much attracted to a beautiful woman wooed the woman in such a way that she devised a plan to show him the ingredients of her beauty. The woman made a date to see him, and before seeing him she took a purgative, and the whole day and night she simply passed stool, and she preserved that stool in a pot. The next night when the man came to see her, she appeared very ugly and emaciated. When the man inquired from her about the woman with whom he had an engagement, she replied, "I am that very woman." The man refused to believe her, not knowing that she had lost all her beauty due to the violent purgative that cursed her to pass through day and night. When the man began to argue with her, the woman said that she was not looking beautiful because she was separated from the ingredients of her beauty. When the man asked her how she could be so separated, the woman said, "Come on, I will show you." She then showed him the pot filled with liquid stool and vomit. Thus the man became aware that the beautiful woman is simply a lump of matter composed of blood, stool, urine, and similar other disgusting ingredients. This is the actual fact. But in a state of illusion, a man becomes attracted by the illusory beauty and becomes a victim of Maya. King Puranjan begged his queen to return to her original beauty. He tried to revive her just as a living entity tries to revive his original consciousness, Krishna consciousness, which is very beautiful. All the beautiful features of the queen could be compared to the beautiful features of Krishna consciousness. When one returns to his original Krishna consciousness, he actually becomes steady and his life becomes successful. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanam Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Satpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Shadvitam Shabdutam Parajanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitam Vishyan He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namostute Tapta Kanchna Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaram Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Naminen Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharinen Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desadarinen Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you again for joining in our Sunday program, the Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are continuing with reading the King Puranjan goes to the forest to hunt and his queen becomes angry. So yesterday we spoke about the detrimental quality of anger, and today we are seeing how the beauty of a woman is so detrimental for one who is trying to come out of this material entanglement. It is not that they are particularly against the women, but anyone who is trying to enjoy the beauty of woman for his own sense gratification, that is what we are talking about. In this enjoyment spirit of sense gratification is very detrimental for one who wants to make spiritual advancement. Spiritual advancement and sense gratification, they don't go together. So the embodiment for sense gratification is sex life, which is the highest form of pleasure in this material world. So the conditioned soul is trapped by this so-called sex pleasure. This is the sum and substance of material life. As you can see, that Prabhupada is giving the story of this woman, and the man was attracted to the body of the woman, and she took some strong purgative and vomited and passed stool day and night, and then she kept that. Of course, if anyone cannot pass stool day and night, they will lose all their vitality, their so-called beauty and everything. Well, they will look very morose, pale, emaciated. So the man was shocked to see a very old woman instead of that beautiful woman. So immediately his attraction then left him. So this is the 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 the, 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 the women's what we say way of trying to awaken this man into Krishna consciousness, because that is the real consciousness. As you can see, the real beauty of the soul is to reunite back to Krishna, and that is the sum and substance of this material entanglement. You can see how women, this material body is spoken by Shankaracharya. Prabhupada quoted this Shankaracharya. We'll quote this Shankaracharya. So this is the verse quoted by Shankaracharya. Naristana bharanabhi desham distva magha mohavesham etam mamsa vashadi vikaram manasi vichintaya varam varam. Having seen the supposed beauty of a woman's heavy breasts and a thin waist, do not become agitated and illusion, for these attractive features are simply transformation of fat, flesh, and various other disgusting ingredients. You should consider this in your mind again and again. You see, this is the verse by Shankaracharya. So you see, very important how we should look through the body of a woman, because lust will develop when we what we say concentrate on the material sense object. That is spoken by Lord Krishna. You see here, Jayato Vishayan Pumsam Sangateshu Upajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodha Abhijayate. So this is the verse. So while contemplating the object of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger arises. So you see, this is why contemplating the object of senses is very, very detrimental. It is dangerous, because sense gratification, attracting the woman's body is very, very attractive, extremely attractive actually, because the feature of the woman body, because for the man's body they're the woman, and the woman's body the man. So this is how the whole thing works. So trying to always meditate on sense gratification is also explained here in this verse. Vishayan jayatas chittam Vishayeshu Vishajyate Mam Anusmaratas Chittam Maya Eva Praviliyate. The mind of one meditating upon the objects of sense gratification is certainly entangled in such objects. But if one constantly remembers me, then the mind is absorbed in me. I say this is the same thing. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, how the senses, dhyayato vishaya pumsam, you get attracted Now here also is telling Uddhava, the mind of one meditating upon the object of senses is certainly entangled in such objects. See? Huh? So see how dangerous this attraction, especially a very nice looking body. You see how it is explained also here in another place. Let me show you another place how the body of a woman is so attractive. You can see here, I am going to show you in another place the same subject is spoken all over the place, Here Kvayam Kali Mashah Kayo Daugandiyadi Atmako Suchi Kvagunaha Saumanasya Adya Ya Adyaso Vidyaya Kritaha. What is this polluted body anyway? So filthy and full of bad odors. I was attracted by the flower-like fragrance and the beauty of a woman's body. But what are those so-called attractive features? They are simply a false covering created by illusion. This is spoken by, what is his name? Yayati. No, sorry, not Yayati. His name, King Ailya. Pururava, no? Pururava, I think his name is Pururava or Ailya. So you see how he was so caught with this body of the women. The body of the women or body of the man, anybody's body is so filthy and full of bad odor. I was attracted by the flower-like fragrance and the beauty of a woman's body. But what are those so-called attractive features? They are simply a false covering created by illusion. See how he is, how he is kind of explaining his position, how Urvasi, he was very, very beautiful woman from the heavenly planet, and how he got captivated by her. And he further says, you see how he says here. One can never decide whose property the body actually is. Does it belong to one's parents who have given birth to it, to one's wife who gives it pleasure, or to one's employer who orders the body around? Is it the property of the funeral fire or the dogs and vultures who may ultimately devour it? Is it the property of the indwelling soul who partakes in his happiness and distress? Or does the body belong to intimate friends who encourage and help it? Although a man never definitely ascertain the property of the body, he becomes most attached to it. The material body is a polluted material form heading toward a lowly destination. Yet, when a man stares at the face of woman, he thinks, what a good looking lady, what a charming nose she has got, and see her beautiful smile. Just see. This is, although one hand it is talking all philosophy, on this hand you see, immediately it gets all overwhelmed. See how this consciousness, this is so dangerous. That's why he says, you cannot, dhyayato vishayapum, you are not allowed to, look in the face of a woman. So dangerous. Especially for I'm talking about the spiritual person. Of course, the woman, that's another thing altogether. She has to be protected. So some person have to take shelter, give her some shelter so that she can become Krishna conscious. That's all another whole subject. But we are talking about a person who is interested in sense gratification. This is what the subject is about. So this body, which is so attractive, but if you look deeper inside, it is actually all illusion. It's all illusion. So we should be very, careful, especially one who is serious about making an end to this material birth, death, old age and disease. And see, this body, we are trying to enjoy this body, but what is this body actually? Tvam mamsa rudira asnayu medo majasti samha tau vinmutra puye ramantam kriminam kiyat antaram. Criminum means worms. See, that's very nicely said. What is the difference is there between ordinary worms and person who try to enjoy this material body composed of skin, flesh, blood, muscle, fat, marrow, bone, stool, urine and pus? What is the difference? Because the worms also try to enjoy this body. Especially when the body is dead, you can see big maggots, they are kind of devouring the whole body, all the flesh, eating it up. Big maggots, and they are enjoying the body. So what is the difference between that kind of worms and the person who also is trying to enjoy the body? Both are trying to enjoy the body. There is no difference. So what's the difference between this enjoyment and that enjoyment? It is the same. See, therefore, a person who is trying to enjoy the body is no better than an ass or a cow. It is explained. One who worships this body is no better than a cow or an ass. So we have to understand this principle of trying to enjoy. Because that's what the whole material life is all about. Material life is all about trying to enjoy sex life. That is it, finish. The whole civilization is based on this one point. How to enjoy this material world. So what it is, seeing inside the body is, giving you so many examples. So, if a person really understands this thing, then he will not get into it. Tapi no pasajeta strisu svenisu charata vid vishayendriya samyogam manaha chupiyate nanjataha. Even one who theoretically understands the actual nature of the body should never associate women or with man attached to women. After all, the contact of the senses with the objects inevitably agitates the mind. You see? So therefore this thing is so dangerous. Because as men are compared to butter and women are compared to fire. You put these two together, definitely something will melt, no? No butter will not melt in no fire, there is no such thing. So therefore, our whole idea is to some or other understand this. Even it says, even you theoretically understand, then you have no realization, theoretically you understand. But you should, with theory also you should not associate with, because it's so risky. This enjoyment spirit is very detrimental. It shackles the conditioned soul again into the cycle of birth, death, old age, disease, birth, death, old age, disease. Unless you become Krishna conscious, and of course you have a Krishna conscious wife working towards to developing love for Krishna, that's another subject altogether. But anyone who freely wants to enjoy the body of the women, then this is very pathetic. You see? It goes further to say, you see, in other words, because the mind is not disturbed by that which is neither seen nor heard. The mind of a person who restricts the material sense will automatically be checked in his material activity and become pacified. So you see how the clue is given. When you don't see, then your mind will not be disturbed. See, the moment your mind interacts, then you cannot control it. That's why the modern so-called propaganda machinery, the mode of passion and ignorance in the form of the social media, the TV, the internet. Before the TV is so big you cannot carry around. You have to go to a place to watch it. But now it is all in your hand, in your palm, and you can carry and watch it any moment, 24 hours, 365 days a year, day and night. All you can do is watch. And what they are watching? They are watching the bodies of the opposite sex. And that gives them so much of what we say, so-called material enjoyment. But if you restrict that, then automatically the mind, you see, when the mind of a person who restricts the material senses will automatically be checked in his material activities and become pacified. So it is actually austerity of the mind to be restricting it from the sense object. That is what the purpose. You see. And then it says further, therefore one should never let his senses associate freely with women or with men attached to women. Even those who are highly learned cannot trust the 6 enemies of the mind. What to speak then of foolish person like me? What are the 6 enemies of the mind? Lust, anger, greed, envy, bewilderment, and finally madness. These are the 6 enemies of the mind. So how you can fall down? As explained here. Therefore one should never let his senses associate freely with women or with men attached to women. Not only women, men who are completely under the what we say, the clutch of a woman, and is a plaything in the hands of a woman, then his whole life is going to be very bad. So such men also you should avoid, because they are dancing dog in the hands of a woman, and their consciousness is bewildered. Because a person is in the clause of sense gratification, his whole consciousness becomes bewildered. Lust bewilders the consciousness. That's why you should not associate with such people. Even those who are highly learned cannot trust the 6 enemies of the mind. What to speak then of foolish person like me? So we have to be very cautious. Detrimental, so dangerous. Goes on to say further, having the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, having thus chanted this song, Maharaj Pururava, eminent among the demigods and human beings, gave up the position he had achieved in the planet of Urvasi. His illusion cleansed away by transcendental knowledge, he understood me to be the Supreme Soul within his heart, and so at last achieved peace. So see, so how he got out of this whole thing? He simply fixed his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. His illusion cleansed away by transcendental knowledge. He understood me to be the Supreme Soul within his heart, and so at last achieved peace. So this is the what we say, the antidote, the medicine to cure the disease. What is that? He has to clear his illusion by getting transcendental knowledge, And that transcendental knowledge means that you have to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is situated in the heart, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, right? He says in the Bhagavad Gita, Isvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridayasa Arjuna Tisthiti. This also says, Sarvashichaham Sanvisto Mata Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So, many places he say, I am situated in the heart. Many times he say, I am situated in the heart. So, this knowledge has to come. At least we should understand this and hear this. So, if we get attracted, it is says here, if we get attracted, attracted to the Lord, that is the purpose. You see, when we have not given up the complete desire for His enjoyment, it says here, Yadrachaya mat katha dau jada sadayastu yaha puman na nirvino nati shakto bhakti yogoshya siddhi daha. Some or other, if one is attracted to talks about me and his faith in the instruction I have set forth in the Bhagavad Gita, and if one is neitherly falsely detached from material things, nor very much attracted to material existence, his dormant love for me will be awakened by devotional service. You see? So if somehow or other you get attracted to talks about me and faith in the instruction, somehow or other, although we have not completely detached from material thing, one is neither falsely detached nor very much attracted also. That means in between. But if we get attracted to hearing about the Lord, then his dormant love for me will awaken by devotional service. So the moment a person awakens devotional service, that is the clue, the key. That is the key for trying to come out of this attraction. The moment you see the beauty of Krishna and you get attracted, then Maya beauty will not capture you anymore. The moment you get attracted to the beauty of the Lord, then Maya, a shadow, what attraction will she provoke on you? Nothing. She cannot attract. So when you develop a higher taste, then you will give up this lower taste. So to develop the higher taste, and that the highest taste is with the Lord. There is no other higher taste than the Lord. Yet He is the topmost pleasurable personality, the supreme personality of God, the reservoir of all pleasure, it is says. I am sure you know. Right? He is the reservoir of all pleasure. So if we can get attracted to Krishna, then this whole business will become purified. This is the conclusion. There is no other thing can work. You can try this thing, that thing, everything, it will not work. The only thing that can work is to become a servant of Krishna. That's it. This is the conclusion. Until and unless we come to this understanding, everything else will become, although seemingly very attractive, but it will become like, like I would say a drop. When you get attracted to Krishna, then all these so-called things will become like a drop in a calf's hoof print. These other pleasures will not be coming very tempting anymore. That's why it says, it says in this verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, I think you know, probably you will know, Vikridintam, I think Virjavadubir, that is in the 10th canto, by anyone who has got the attraction of hearing the pastimes of the Let me get the verse out. Vikridantam 10:33-39. I see this verse here. Vikriditam brajavadubiridam cha Vishnuho Siddha Anvito Nushunuyat Yata Varnayadyaha Bhaktim Param Bhagavati Pratilabhya Kamam Hridrogam Asva Apahanoti Achirena Dhiraha. See this? This is spoken by, I think, the 10th canto. Sukadev Goswami was bona fide listener, hears of Krishna's pastime with the gopis, which seem to be lusty affairs. The lusty desires in his heart, which constitute the heart disease of the conditioned soul, will be vanquished and will become a most exalted devotee of the Lord. Just see this. If one who hears of the gopis' lusty behavior with Krishna and become free from lusty desires, certainly the gopis who approach Krishna become free from all such desires. So you see how powerful. Similarly, Shishupala and others who were very much envious of Krishna and who constantly thought of Krishna became free from envy. Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda were fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness because of affection. When the mind is somehow or other fully absorbed in Krishna, the material part is very soon vanquished. And the spiritual part, attraction to Krishna, become manifest. This indirectly confirms that if one thinks of Krishna enviously, simply because of thinking of Krishna, he becomes free from all sinful reaction and thus becomes a pure devotee. Example is they giving in the following verses. So, you see how this lust can be overcome. The lust can only be overcome by the power of getting attracted to Krishna. If we don't get attracted to Krishna, then there is no way that we can overcome our lust in the heart. It says here, Hrid Rogam. You see, this word is Hrid means the heart, Roga means disease. So, Kamam means lust, and Hrid Rogam means disease of the heart. So, we want to cure the disease of the heart. Bhaktim Param Bhagavati Pratilapya. Bhaktim Param Bhagavati. We have to get attracted by devotional service and by hearing the pastimes of Krishna with the transcendental gopis. This is not some kind of mundane sex story. It is a pure love. And by hearing this pure love, immediately our heart will get also purified. Because it's a disease, The disease of the heart is very contaminating. We want to enjoy this nonsense. But the only way is to get in touch with the spiritual, as Prabhupada said, the spiritual part. So we get attracted to the spiritual part of Krishna consciousness, then that's it. Then everything will become purified. Even though we may not be, fully cured from this problem, but because we are somehow or other in touch with Krishna, that power of Krishna is so powerful that simply by some connection, even it is Swalpam Asi, what is that verse? Swalpam Atapi. Let me take that verse, I think it's in the 10:14. Atapi Deve Padambuja Dvaya. It says here 10:14-29. So in this verse, you see, it is very much quoted by Srila Prabhupada often. Atapi te deva padambuja dvaya prasada lesa anugrihita evaye janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya eko pi chiran vichinvan. a very nice verse. I like to highlight this in Sanskrit. You can see this. This is prasada lesa. Prasada lesa. Lesa means very slight. Very, very slight. Just touching. This is like just slight. Lesa, you know. Some slight mercy. Translation. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. See how? If we just get some slight trace of your mercy, of course that can only come by the mercy of the devotees. That's why association of devotees is crucial. It's very, very crucial. This mercy of the Lord can only be gotten by the association of devotees. Period. You cannot try to overcome this loss and all these things by your own efforts. That is not possible. You know, I think we have explained that yesterday also, you know, in this verse. I think it, give me a minute. In the Madhya Lila chapter 22, we have given an explanation yesterday that unless we associate with devotees, then this whole thing is a waste of time. You know? महात्कृपा विना कोन कर्मे भक्ति नया कृष्ण भक्ति दूरे रहु samsara naichaya. Unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. The material existence means we have explained attraction of woman, woman attraction to man. This is what is going on. You know, this is material existence. This is where your heart gets bonded. You know, Pumsam Sri Maituna Etad. I'm sure you know all those verses. So once a person gets stuck in that, then he is thinking on the terms of Maya and I only. This is mind, this is I. This is mind, this is I. This is what it is. Material life means I, my, stuck. So if anybody wants to come out, then he has to get the mercy of a pure devotee. And we are fortunate now, this Kali Yuga is so fortunate, somehow or other we have taken birth in this period of time, and somehow or other by mercy of Krishna he has sent a very pure devotee as in Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada is so pure that if you just read his books or if you associate with the devotees who are, propagating Krishna consciousness fully under his direction, then that spark, that tiny spark in our heart, can be awoken. That love for Krishna can be awoken. That association is so crucial. That's why Prabhupada particularly asked his disciple to set up temples all over the world. Why? Because this is the crux of the matter, to get associated. And immediately if one gets associated, then everything is revealed. Everything is revealed. The whole thing becomes. I just read on. These verses are very important. O King Rahugana, without taking upon oneself the dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee, a Mahajana or Mahatma, one cannot attain devotional service. Devotional service is not possible to attain simply by undergoing severe austerities and penance, by gorgeously worshipping deity, or by strictly following the rules and regulations of sannyas or grahastha order. Nor is it attained by studying the Vedas, submerging oneself in water, exposing oneself to a fire of scorching sunlight. Unless human society accept the dust Of the lotus feet are great Mahatmas, devotees who have nothing to do with material possession. Mankind cannot turn its attention to the lotus feet of Krishna. Those lotus feet vanquish all the unwanted, miserable conditions of material life. See? And here also it says very famous verse. The Vedic of all revealed scripture is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. So, a moment's association of pure devotee is the whole, what we say, it is a conclusion. So, therefore, please consider this again. If you don't get associate devotees, you will get associate to Maya. There's two ways. You either that side or this side. You cannot go the middle path in this. It's not possible. If you are not attracted to devotional service in the association of devotees, then you will be attracted to Maya's association. So you know what happens if you go that way. The whole verses today, we have highlighted how we will become completely, what we say, degraded. That's what will happen. But if you come and associate with devotees, so that will be the saving grace. So of course it is for everybody to decide. As Krishna told Arjuna, I have spoken to you and you act as you please. We cannot compel you, cannot force you, because this is a disease of the heart. And to cure this disease, first you must know you have this disease. If you do not know you have this disease and you are bewildered, then there is no way anyone can help. It is not possible to help somebody who is in illusion. Someone who is bewildered is difficult to help. Just like some man who is mad. Unless you know he is mad, you cannot cure his disease. So we have to know we have this disease, then yes, we will take the medicine. But if I am thinking that no, I don't have this disease, then why medicine? There is no need for medicine. So therefore, we have to associate with devotees to learn that we have this disease. That's the first thing. So when we associate with devotees, then this detachment in the heart will come about. So please take it a little seriously, because we have wasted so much of many lifetimes. The value of a moment associated with the devotee of the Lord cannot be compared even to the attainment of heaven planar liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benediction in the form of material prosperity, which is for those who are meant for that. So going that way, trying to become a materialist is actually a foolish dream. So, okay, I guess I've spoken at length and I've highlighted the pitfalls of the attraction of a woman's body for the man, and for the man's body for the women are both detrimental. Either way, this body is full of blood, stool, urine, mucus, and all that I've described clearly. So please try to see the soul of all souls, the Lord in the heart of every living entity, and try to develop that attraction for Him. And you can do that very easily in the association of devotees by coming together and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then also taking the instruction home and practicing it. And if you can keep in constant contact like this, then definitely, you can go home back to Godhead without any doubt. So, alright, I wish to stop here then. Has anybody got any questions? Alright, it looks like The sages in Dandakanya forest were attracted to the bodily beauty of Lord Ramachandra and wished to enjoy conjugal affair with him. But this cannot be compared to homosexuality. Although they decided to enjoy conjugally, so they did not go and do homosexual activities, Lord Ram. Ram awarded them in their next life the body of the gopis so that they could, enjoy with him in that conjugal ras. There is no mention in the scriptures of homosexuality. They were attracted and then they had some, homosexual activity. This is condemned in the scriptures. Homosexuality is a very demonic activity. It's explained in the Bhagavatam when Brahma created the demons. They wanted to have sex with him, and then he cast off that body into twilight, and they ran after that in the form of a woman. So that's there in the Bhagavatam. You can read that in the second canto, chapter 10. So this are all there, but there is no mention that homosexuality is allowed or encouraged. Although the desire for the attraction for the Lord was there, but it has to be fulfilled in a more appropriate manner. Therefore, they had to take birth again in next life to be gopis. So, what is the next one? Prabhu, why does Maya Devi not want us to go back to Godhead, even though she is a devotee? So, alright, this is a very good question. Why Maya would not want us to go? Prabhupada answered it in this way. Prabhupada said, of course, Maya wants us to go back to Krishna, but at the same time, she doesn't want us to go and disturb Krishna. So, therefore, she puts all these obstacles to make sure that we are actually a proper candidate to go to Krishna. So Maya has got two purposes. One purpose is to cover us. Another purpose is to throw us. So we have to get the mercy of Krishna to overcome all these obstacles. So that means we have to become serious. We cannot bring in this sahajiyism, taking it easy, all this kind of a frivolous kind of Krishna consciousness. It does not work. So we have to become very, very, let's say, serious devotee. That verse is there. The seriously inquisitive sage. What is that? Srimad Bhagavatam. 1 to 12. You can see here. Let me first go back to the verses. So here you see in this verse, what is blocking the whole thing? Tat siddhadana munayo jnana vairagya yuktaye pasyantyatmani chatmanam bhakti sutta grihitaya. The seriously inquisitive student or sage, it says here, the seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with the knowledge and detachment, realize that the absolute truth by rendering service in terms of what is heard from the Vedanta Sutra. So a person has to become very serious, It is not that, mess around. You can do whatever you like and take Krishna conscious, in a very frivolous manner. Then this thing will not fructify. So we have to become very serious. So that's why Maya is also there. Maya is there to make sure that we develop that seriousness. Unless we are feeling disgusted with this Maya, we cannot take to Krishna consciousness. That's not possible. It is explained here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I think it's 11:20. Give me a minute, let me check. That unless one is disgusted with Maya, then we cannot become Krishna conscious. See here, it is explained here. In this verse, when a person is disgusted with the temporary illusory nature of this world and is thus detached from it, his mind, guided by the instruction of his spiritual master, considers again and again the nature of this world and eventually gives up the false identification with matter. You see, understand this? I read it again. When a person is disgusted with the temporary illusory nature of this world and is thus detached from it, his mind guided by the instruction of the spiritual master. See, you can only become disgusted if your mind is guided by the instruction of the spiritual master. You cannot get this thing by your own, what we say, realization. It's difficult. You must be guided and consider again and again the nature of this world and eventually gives up the false identification with matter. So, you have to understand that this requires, strong association. And unless you get strong association, you cannot escape this clause of Maya. That's not possible. Maya is not lightweight. The Prabhupada said the stringent laws of Maya doesn't even care if it is a child or a human being, whatever. It will affect. So we have to be very, very cautious with her. The best way to handle Maya is to become Krishna conscious. The moment we become Krishna conscious, then Krishna says your Maya will not disturb you. That is, for we have to constantly be associating with the instruction of the spiritual master. We have to hear regularly. Hearing regularly is very, very important. As we chant in the early stage of the class, Narayana, what is that verse? Srimad Bhagavatam, we chant in the, before we start the class. Narayana, what is that? Number what? 1, 1, 2, 4. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasham Tato Jayam Udirayan. Nasta Priyeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Right? No, there is 1 to 18. You see here. This is what we chant every time we start the class. The verse Nasta Priyeshu Abhadreshu Nityam. You see the word Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nitya means continuously. Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. By regular attendance in classes of the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, is established an irrevocable fact. So here says here regular attendance. It doesn't say that you do as you like, flexible, flexible. Whenever you feel like, that's it. So when you feel like that, then Maya also will be very flexible. She will come. So therefore we have to be very cautious. What is that? All glories to Prabhupada. How can we get rid of our sinful activities and control our senses? I have explained at length. The only way we can clear our sinful activities is by taking shelter of a pure devotee of Krishna, and by following his instruction. Definitely you will be free from all sinful activities. This is the only medicine. We must take shelter of a pure devotee by way of initiation, and then he will give guidelines, the rules and regulations to follow, and by doing that we will become free from all sinful activities. This is also explained in this verse. 6.1, give me a minute. 6.1. You see here in this verse, ना तथा ये आगमन राजन पुयेत तप आदि बिहिर यथा कृष्णार्पित प्राणा तत्पुरुष निसेवया. My dear king, if a sinful person engaged in the service of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and thus learns how to dedicate his life unto the lotus feet of Krishna, he can be completely purified. One cannot be purified merely by undergoing austerity, penance, brahmacharya and the other methods of atonement I previously described. See? So, want to be completely purified? You must take shelter of a pure devotee. There is no other way to it. So, what is the next question? Alright, there is no more questions. Okay, so thank you very much for joining in our program. If you have further questions and all, I think you can always contact our devotees here. They will be very helpful in getting to clear your doubts. And now that the lockdown is over, you can always come to the temple and also associate with devotees, take darshan, talk to the devotees, and also have some prasadam. And this way, you will develop your Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Prabhupada.